Somewhere along the way, we stopped believing we were meant for something bigger. But we were kids, there was no pressure, no life problems, bills, what major I should study, and so on. Our dreams were loud, pure, unhidden, and unfiltered. But then life hits and your pure and innocent soul gets disappointed by people. You go through shit you never asked for, and suddenly, the world convinces you to shrink. Today I want to talk about that, about how the majority loses themselves and how the only way to rise again is to reconnect with your younger self before the world got to us. You don't wake up one day and decide to settle. It happens in small moments, gradually. People call you delusional for dreaming big. You trip a few times, you get rejected, fall into the circle of doubts, and eventually let it consume you. Thereafter you give up. But what's worse, you surrender to the haters on the sidelines. Sadly, it's often our family, friends, colleagues, people we've naturally built trust with. Therefore, it's difficult to let their criticism just roll off our backs. You become a smaller, quieter, scared version of yourself, not because you're weak, but because you were never prepared to fight back. The world teaches you to think small, but your younger self never did. When I think about myself at 10, 12, 14 years old, man, I was crazy, I was rebellious, I was just like so in my world, in my space. I didn't care what others thought about me. I didn't have to worry about the economy, about the external factors. Man, I was once at the water park, swimming in the pool, swam over and stepped over the railing, and I just kind of screamed something nonsense. Everybody was laughing, someone was clapping at the back, but that didn't bother me. The truth is, I visualized myself as an actor, an artist, a creator, and that's what I did. I created, I played, I sang, I dreamed. And your version may be different from mine, it doesn't really matter. The crazy part is, that version of you is still inside you. You didn't lose him, you just buried him under pressure, fears, and expectations of others. And the fact that you're here now, wanting to reconnect, is a sign you're on the right track. The fire is still within you, that hunger, that imagination, that energy, you can feel it. Especially at night when no one is judging and you can think clearly. You can't build future unless you make peace with the past. You can't become the bold, powerful version of yourself if the younger you still feels abandoned. When you reconnect with your younger self, you stop living for approval and you start living for purpose. You start moving differently, stop apologizing, you stop playing small. You resume the game you initially started a few years ago. And the reason you start feeling that way is because you stop building your life from fear, start building it from truth. Try this. Sit down with a photo of you as a child. Look into those eyes and ask him, what did you really dream of? What did you believe you could be? You'll find it in your chest. The truth hits instantly. Forgive yourself for everything. For stalling, for doubting yourself, getting distracted and settling. You didn't fail. Life just hit you before you had the tools to fight back. So look at your picture and make a promise to him. Not some perfectly designed plan or some overnight fantasy. Just a promise. I'll show up for you every day, even when I'm doubtful, confused, even when I feel uncomfortable to do it. That promise alone can shift your entire destiny. When you reconnect with a younger version of you, you stop chasing results, you start chasing purpose. You will notice your work feels different, you become disciplined naturally. That's when confidence grows too. You're no longer doing this to prove something to the world. You're doing this to honor who you always were. There's a saying, the future version of you already exists. And I think that's true, not in a magical way, but in a practical way. The version of you who made it out of the chaos. It exists inside your daily choices. How resistant you are to all the shit that happened to you is what defines your future. You're not building a new identity. You're gradually returning to the one you abandoned. And that hits hard. So if you're watching this and you're feeling lost, like you're behind, like everyone's got it figured out except you, I want you to remember, you're not late. You're just waking up. Reconnect with that kid inside you and rebuild everything the world took from you. Until next time.